Yo, Pose is getting better and better with every episode. Let's talk about it, y'all. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to KRS TV. This is your boy Kenny, and this is Pose Season 2, Episode 3, and the name of this episode is Butterfly Cocoon. This was an excellent episode, and before I get started, let me give a special shout out to Janet Mock. She's one of the co-executive producers of Pose, and she directed this episode. You did a phenomenal job, and this episode was great from beginning to end. So let me begin. The episode opens up. Angel is being interviewed by Ford models. Mrs. Ford is actually asking her questions. It's May 1st, 1990. She asks her, why do you think, why should you be the fresh face of Ford models? And she tells her that I'm a natural beauty, you know, I know how to beat my mug. And she was like, well, beat your mug. She's like, yeah, the makeup. And she started voguing. And she's like, oh, yeah, voguing, yes. And then she says, also, because of my heart, I give good advice to people. And then she was like, okay, I think we got what we need, you know, thank you. And pretty much she's like, but wait a minute. You didn't ask why I feel I should be the face of 1990. And she said that, look, has anyone looked like me been the face of your campaign? She says, back at home, I was told growing up that I wasn't going to amount to anything. And for a long time, I believed them until now, you know, and I want to be the face of people who have thought that they're worthless or have been told that they were worthless, that they can make something of themselves. And you can help me to make that possible. And I was like, wow, what a great answer. And afterwards, we see down at the ball, the category is Femme Queen Runway. They are playing Bobby Brown, My Prerogative. Yes, perfect song. And Angel comes in there and slays the competition, gets 10s across the board. And then we see that Poppy and Angel, you know, she's doing poses and Poppy's taking pictures of her. And she was saying, and she pretty much said that she really wants to be a magazine girl. That's her goal, is to get on cover of magazines. And the phone started ringing, and Blanca tells Damon to answer the phone, and it's for Angel. Angel gets on the phone, and at first she's smiling, and then you can kind of see that she's bothered. And she gets off the phone, and we pretty much find out from her reaction she didn't get chose because she was actually in the top 5, you know, for the 4 models, but she didn't win. And she just gets so mad, you know, because, you know, Blanca's like, that's okay, girl, you know, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. They're not going to reject my daughter and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, Angel just gets very defensive and just lashes out on Blanca. She's like, you know what? I'm getting so sick of your pipe dreams, always making us believe we can have more than what we have. Won't you just focus on yourself? And I was like, damn. And she sends Poppy to go after her, and Damon confronts Blanca. And Blanca's like, I'm good. Because she knows that, you know, Angel is just reacting to the fact that she had got rejected. Which I think Ford Models was definitely wrong, because Angel's gorgeous. So then we see that Poppy and Angel have a moment. You know, she was saying that, you know, I really wanted, you know, to win. I really wanted to be chosen. And like Poppy told her that, look, you know, 4 models, you know, ain't gonna deter your destiny or where you go or how far you go. You know, it's your destiny. You're meant for this. And next thing you know, we see that the two of them lock eyes, and she goes for a kiss, and it looks like he's resisting, but you know, he gives in, and they start kissing and everything. And she was like, you want to go get a room? And he was like, no, it's no rush. He's like, I've been attracted to you from the moment I met you, and you know, I really like you, and I want to take you out on a real date. And I was like, wow. See, Poppy respects her as a lady, and he wants to court her the right way. I'm like, yo, Poppy is like my number one guy on this show. Like, I live for Poppy. I'm like, when can I get me a Poppy in my life, baby? Because Poppy was just on one this entire episode in a good way. You know, he was definitely number one, you know, in the way that he treats Angel, and the way that he is now become a part of the house, and how he cares for the family. Poppy has definitely stood up, and you definitely see a massive change in Poppy. So we see that Elektra is getting ready for her shift. We see that Paul comes in. That's the guy that she was torturing the last episode, and he likes to, you know, do poppers and do cocaine before he gets the shit beat out of him, and he lives for it. You know, so pretty much as soon as he comes in, you know, Electra's like, so I see my little bitch is back. And he's like, yeah, and I bought a new toy. He bought like this head mask where he says that you can put poppers in there, and I can do enough without actually doing too much. And she was like, you know how I feel about this, about drugs and all of that. Like, she says, shit, I don't even take Tylenol. And he was like, look, I'll give you 300 on top of the $350 that I normally pay you. She was like, you know, have a seat. I was like, Elektra ain't turning down no damn money, and I don't blame her ass. So they start talking. He says that, you know, she's asked, so how was your day? And he says that he lost his promotion to some newbie Ivy League kid. You know, next thing you know, we see that she's got him gagged and chained, and he tells her to, can you wait 20 minutes? Can you step out, you know, for 20 minutes and then come back, and I can enjoy my beating? So we see that she goes out, hangs out with the other girls, waits for 20 minutes, comes back. This motherfucker Paul done OD'd, you know, and end up dying because he choked on his own vomit. You know, he's gagged up and everything, and, you know, he had the mask on. She goes in there ready to punish him, and she lifts the mask. He has vomited everywhere, and he's literally dead. And she completely panics and is just like in shock, like, oh my gosh, she got a dead body on her hands. And worse than that, it's a dead white man. So what she does is that she goes to Blanca. She pretty much tells Blanca what happened, and Blanca's like, you left him there? And she's like, what am I gonna do? She's like, you need to call the police and tell them what happened. She's like, I don't want to do that. And she's like, I don't know what to do. And, you know, Blanca goes to call the police. Her ass hangs up the phone, and she's like, shit, Elektra, like, why the hell did you come for me? Why did you come to ask my advice if you're not going to listen to me? She's like, you know what? Maybe it was the wrong thing I did. I need to go to Candy. And Blanca runs out with her. Then we go to the actual strip joint where Candy works. So this is how Candy's been earning her bread and butter, at the strip club. And they're playing my song Nasty Girl by Vanity 6. Yes. And pretty much she's over there dancing. She calls Candy over, but to get Candy's attention, she paid Candy some money. So she's pretty much saying that, you know, she's like, and then they get back in the dressing room. Candy starts going in. She's like, man, y'all hoes kill me. What do you think I am, dear fucking Abby? What the hell is this shit? And she's like, so what happened is that a man ended up dying on your job. And she's like, yeah. And he's like, and he white? She's like, bitch, you fucked. I was rolling. Candy had me cracking up this episode, y'all, because Candy was off the hook. And then all of a sudden, we see that one of the girls come backstage with one of the Johns. And she's like, hey, girl. Hey, Steve. And Electra's like, you shouldn't be letting clients come backstage like that. It isn't safe. And she says that you got to know to be talking about safety on my job when you just killed a man on yours. I was like, oh, shit. Oh, man. And she's like, well... And then, like, you know, Blanca's like, well, I told her to call the police. I'm like, well, shit, if you call the police, bitch, you going to jail. And she pretty much told Electra, like, honey, your broke ass ain't got nothing against these lawyers with white money. With you know, and the next thing you know, this shit's probably going, the fact that it's a dead white man, oh shit, it's probably going to be on the Times, the Post, the Daily News, you know. And she's saying that, and then Blanca was like, yes, that's why I said that it's a good idea that we call the cops. Candy was like, we? Ain't no fucking we. Shit. Orange is not my color. She was just being just as shady as she wanted to be. Yeah, because then Candy is like, look, the cops don't believe transsexuals, honey. And I'm going to let you know something, Electra. You ain't going to do well in Rikers Island. I'm just letting you know that right now. And she's like, but I think Blanca's right. We should call the police. And Candy was like, you know what? Before you do that, I want you to talk to somebody before you decide to turn yourself in. And they go to meet Euphoria. She's a trans girl and she's a streetwalker. And pretty much Euphoria pretty much let them know, like, bitch, you gonna tell the police? What the hell? Like, are you crazy? And then Blanca's like, well, and Blanca's like, you know, I've been to jail. And she's like, yeah, for hooking. And she was like, yeah. And, you know, because I protested at this bar. She's like, and then Euphoria was like, honey, those are bullshit crimes. Those are the crimes that they take hand, that they do just to make it look like that they're keeping the streets safe. And, you know, they probably rough you up a little bit, but that ain't nothing, you know. But if you really want to get the reality, this is a dead white man. We're supposed to be the ones who get beat up and dead, not them. So I just hate to tell you this, Electra, but your ass done crossed the line with this one. And then she tells a story about her sucking off of John. She's sucking the guy off in the car, and then he's telling her she's using too much teeth. And she's like, boo-boo, ain't nobody ever tell me that I'm using too much teeth. I ain't the problem here. And the guy just starts attacking her, beating her up and everything in the car. She scratches him and gets out, and, you know, she's pretty much trying to crawl because, you know, he was beating her up pretty bad. He gets on top and starts beating her up some more. Then the cops show up. They got her in the back of the car, you know, handcuffed, and he literally lied and pulled a Eddie Murphy and said that he was giving her a ride and she tried to rob him. And she said that what ended up happening, that she ended up getting locked up. They beat her up the first day in Rikers Island. Then there was a prison guard who told her that he will protect her and gave her some makeup, you know, to help cover her bruises and all of that. But she said, but that was some bullshit, because what he ended up doing was that he was pimping me out to everybody else. So she kind of told that story. And let's see, what else happened? And she says that she kind of just tells it like it is. Like, look, the system is never on our side. You know, what you need to do is find a way to get to the bottom of this. And Candy's like, look, I know someone that can clean this up. We need to go talk to her. And Blanca is dancing against her, like, no, we can't do this. But Electra's like, Blanca, let me speak to you in private. She pretty much says that, look, Blanca, I know this is your house, but I'm going to send you to your room. And she's like, look, you're my mother. I don't want nothing to happen to you. And she's like, yes, and you're my daughter. But this is out of your lane. So I'm going to need you to go in your room because I don't want you to hear any of this. I don't want any of this to affect anything you're trying to do. And she says that, look, this is my sin. It is not your job to pay for my sin. So go in the room. We'll take care of this. And pretty much, Candy was like, yeah, I know a girl that can take care of this, but you're going to need to come up with some money. So they pretty much decided to go see the girl. And I have to say, this whole storyline is straight from Dorian Corey. For those of you who have watched Paris is Burning, Dorian Corey, who was one of the people that was interviewed for Paris is Burning, when she died, one of her assistants that worked with her, because she was also a clothing designer, which we kind of see that in Pretel, and you know, because Pretel's is a fashion designer, so was Dorian Corey. We see what ended up happening is that after Dorian Corey died, an assistant went in to get some of her things, and they discovered this bag, you know, a pawn bag of it was like this thing that was in bags or whatever, and it was really heavy. And when they finally got it open, they found out that it was an actual dead body that she had in her closet for probably over 10 years. And they end up later on finding out the identity of the guy, but they pretty much said that either he was a guy who tried to rob her and she killed him, or he was a boyfriend who was abusive and she took matters in her own hands and killed him and hid him in her closet, and nobody knew about him until after Dorian Corey was dead. So we definitely see that, you know, this is something that actually happened with one of the queens from Paris is Burning, and I just thought it was sheer genius of how they put it in the script for Pose. So we see that Elektra and Candy go to this sub-basement, and Elektra and me was like, darling, I don't do sub-basements. And Candy was like, yo bougie ass, bring your ass on. We come to find out it's the same chick that gave Candy those bad injections in season 1, and she almost died. So immediately when she saw Candy, she was ready to fight, because she's like, girl, you've been spreading lies about me out here, and now I lost a lot of clientele for, you know, because of you and all of this shit. And she says that, look, I'm here because I have a friend that needs a favor. Oh, a favor? For one of your friends? Never. I'm sorry, I did it wrong. If forgive me, I got a cold, but she was like, never. I was rolling like she was a mess. And then she says that, look, we got a mess with somebody who's not breathing. We need your help to clean it up. And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And she's like, and like Candy was like you habla inglés, bitch. What the fuck you mean? You know the fuck we talking about. She's like, what about that damn girl who you injected and she ended up dying of a heart attack and you got rid of her ass? Yeah. And then Electra's like, yeah, and what about that John that she had that was beating her up at the pier? You got rid of him too, we heard. So what's good? And next thing you know, she threw down the money, you know, and that's when old girl changed her tune. She was like, is he a tall man? Well, I don't know. It's like, is he fat? And she's like, what does that have to do with anything? She says, because I want to know if he will fit in my suitcase. So they pretty much get the suitcase. And once they go back to Electra's job, he's still there dead. And Candy recognizes him. She's like, oh, I know who the hell this is. This is Paul. Paul was a piece of shit. Paul used to come to my club where I work, and he used to go in the back with the girls, and he used to rough them up and shit. You know? And she says, first of all, and she also told her that, you know, get everything, you know, of his so there's no trace of him. And she was like, fuck it. If anything, I would say leave his ass outside and let people see him for what he really is. But she was like, no, what we're going to do is that we're going to wrap him up, put him in the suitcase, and we're going to take him somewhere safe. And we see that they're in the elevator, and Paul is inside the suitcase. And I'm just like, wow. You know, this is crazy. Then we get a scene with Blanca and Angel. Blanca is definitely, her nerves are shot. You know, she's just kind of going through it because she knows what's going on. And she's worried about Elektra and everything. And Angel's there, and she comforts her, and she also apologizes to her for going off on her. But then, you know, she tells Angel that, you know, Poppy has been pouting all day. You know, you need to fix that. I don't know what's going on with him, but you need to get to the bottom of that. And then also we see that Poppy comes in, and, you know, and he's just really in his feelings. And then Angel's like, Poppy, why are you acting like this? He's like, I ain't acting like nothing. You the one that stopped talking to me, remember? You know, because he hasn't really been talking for almost like a week or two. And she says that, look, what you gave me was a pity kiss, you know, and you probably felt bad that you kissed me, so now you don't want to talk to me. But go ahead and reject me. I can take it, you know. And he says that, look, a hood rat like me don't deserve a beautiful girl like you. And I was just like, oh, Poppy, baby, no. And she hugs him and she tells him, it's not that. I just don't want to ruin what we had together. You mean so much to me. And he says, you know, I can be more. And then all of a sudden, we see that he actually kisses Angel. And then Blanca's looking. She's like, ooh, like, who need Young and the Restless when you got this shit right here? Dinner's ready. And then, like, Damien's sitting at the table laughing. And we see that the two of them go in the back together, you know, to get ready for dinner. So I was like, oh, that was cute. And then all of a sudden, we see back at we come to find out they took the body to Electra's apartment, and she's like, the bitch ran off with my money, and it's all your fault, Candy. And Candy's like, bitch, you blaming me? You the one with the dead motherfucker in your bedroom and shit. Well, shit, I'll go. I won't say nothing else more. But then finally, old girl comes back. She has lye to kill the smell, and she also has pleather so it doesn't leak. And she says we're gonna wrap him up in it, you know, and hide him in the closet and put some boxes around it. No one will ever know he was here. It will be a cocoon. And she talks about a friend of hers in Honduras who husband used to beat her with a heated wired hanger, and she shot him dead in the stomach, and she cocooned him with the help of her neighborhood friends. You know, so yeah, everybody in the neighborhood didn't like this motherfucker, how the way he used to beat her, so they teamed up with him to help her hide the body. So pretty much, you know, then Candy kind of went for her. She was like, oh, so that's how you got rid of that girl who had a heart attack because of your bullshit injections? She's like, girl, my injections are primo shit. And I don't know why she had that reaction. Maybe she just didn't respond to it. But hey, I had to do what I had to do. And then she says, but before we do this, Electra's like, before we do this, can we pray over the body? And Candy was like, why the hell we want to do that? He was a pig. He deserved to die. She's like, regardless of the fact, this was somebody's child. You know, this was a mother's son. So they pray over him, and we see that they get everything ready and everything. They, you know, get him in position. They put the lye on his body, and then they wrap the pleather. And she says, you want to make sure. And while they're doing this, they're playing Shame by Evelyn Champagne King. Classic. You know, and I love the soundtrack for Pose. They play some of the best music on this show. So we see, but after they prayed, and you saw she's, you know, Electra was definitely shaken up. Candy told her that you didn't kill him. It's okay. You didn't kill him. And she didn't. He actually killed himself, you know, with his junky ass. But she says you don't want any holes or any scams, because when he starts to decay, it will leak on your shoes. So you want to make sure there are no holes, you know. So they pretty much stitched him up, and they actually end up putting him in a trunk in her closet. And I'm like, yes, this is Dorian Corey all day. So then we see that we get a scene with Damon and Angel. She's getting ready for her date with Poppy, and he kind of lets her know that, look, I'm Team Poppy. You know, I think Poppy's great. You know, he got himself off the streets. He's no longer dealing. He got his GED. He got a job at the Carlisle. He's doing well for himself. But then she was like, but I hear a but coming. And she was like, well, you can have any man that you want. You know, so he was kind of telling that, yeah, I love Poppy, but you're really out of his league. And next thing you know, the phone rings, and she gets a call, and it's Miss Ford. She pretty much calls her back in. her and Miss Ford go back and forth, and she was like, oh, so you finally realized that you passed me up for one of these little typical blonde models that you go for? And she's like, well, it was more of the way you answered, which is why I didn't pick you. And she's like, yeah, I'm something you're not used to. I'm the kind of girl that you look down on when you're kind of like living in your, when you're kind of like on your high horse. I mean, I forgot the actual wording that she said, but it was to that degree. And she's like, yeah, I'll take that. But then she lets her know that, do you know about, Wet and Wild? And she's like, oh yeah, they got the best eyeliners and everything. She says, well, they're looking for someone that's different. They already got some models there, but they need another one that has a different look. And you're perfect for it. And she's like, oh my God, really? What? Like, when do I have to be there? She pretty much gives her the address and is like, you're already late. So she goes there, and they're playing another jam, Manea Cherry's Buffalo Stance. That's my shit. And they're playing that. She goes up in there. She starts doing some of the poses that she's been practicing with Poppy, where she leans in. She's voguing. Miss Angel killed that motherfucking photo shoot. But then it got around 7:30. And she's like, oh, I gotta go. And he was like, oh no, we have to shoot until 9. And she was like, yeah, but I have to be somewhere. I can't mess this up. I gotta go. And he says that, look, you got a choice. Do you want to be a social butterfly, or do you want to be a superstar? So she decided to stay. And he's like, okay, superstar it is. So she started to work. And this broke my heart. Because we see that Poppy is at the restaurant. He's got roses. He's dressed up. And he just looks so sad because she never showed up. And it was just so messed up. But I was just like, man, poor Poppy. No. Yeah, that was really sad. But then later on, Angel comes home. She tells Blanca and Damon everything. She tells them about the shoot. She met some of the creme de la creme of high society. She, was drinking champagne and having a good time. We see Poppy walks in. We can tell that Poppy is really sad and he's upset and everything. And pretty much Blanca and Damon excuse themselves. So Poppy and Angel talk. And he's like, she's like, I know I'm sorry that I didn't make our date, but it's not what you think, but give me a second to tell you. And she lets him know that she had got a photo shoot, and that's where she was, and she had to work. And he's really happy for her and everything, but he says that, yeah, I'm real happy for you, but you fucked me up, though. You fucked me up because I was left there feeling that I got the best girl of my dreams. I was flexing, feeling real proud of myself that I got the girl of my dreams, that this beautiful woman wants to date me, that, I did something right, and that I was feeling in myself that I did something right to get her. And she said yes, and you stood me up. You left me there. And she's like, Poppy, it wasn't. He's like, yeah, I know, but, here it is. I realized that this is your dream. This is your dream. You got to do what you got to do. But you are my dream. And she says that, look, you got the prize. There's going to be people that's going to be knocking down to get to you because you have so much going for you. But I want you to understand that, look, I'm a prize too. I will protect you, I will hold you down, and I will treat you like a woman's supposed to be treated. I was like, Poppy! Come through, damn it! I'm like, damn, I need a Poppy in my life. Yo, anybody know where a Poppy at so they can introduce them to me? I'm down. Yes. Send them to Kenneth Stallings of KRS TV. I need a Poppy, damn it. I need a Poppy! I was just so here for Poppy. You can definitely tell there has been a serious amount of growth for Poppy since season 1. This is a totally different Poppy. He's got a different head on his shoulders. He's more confident, and he has more of a heart. His heart has become bigger in season 2, and I'm so here for it. So then after that, we see that that the two of them made up, and everything's all good. But yeah, he just told her the truth. That he felt some kind of way because she didn't show up. You're my dream, and I felt jaded because you didn't show up to that dinner. But I think the two of them gonna be just fine. Then all of a sudden we see that Blanca and Electra meet up at a club for drinks or whatever. And pretty much, Blanca's like, it's been 2 weeks, I haven't heard from you. Like, what the hell is going on? And she said that, and Blanca lets Electra know, I heard about the body and what y'all did to it. She's like, is Candy talking? Her ass gonna be in the fucking, her ass gonna be in the damn closet next. She don't shut her damn mouth. And she's like, look, she told half the girls don't believe her. And she's like, well, what about the other half? The other half pretty much said that, you did what you had to do. There's also been, some reports about a missing executive in the papers, on page 22. And, I've been having nightmares. And the reason why I'm upset, Electra, is that I wanted to reach out to you because I can imagine you're having nightmares too. And she talks about, yes, he's in a trunk in my closet, and every night, I sometimes it always frightens me because I know there's a dead man in my closet, but I go in and I pray for him every single night. And and the fact that he's in my closet, that's a constant reminder that this man is in my closet. But I will make a memorial for him in a way. So I always pray over him every night. And she's saying that, look, pretty much right now, this man is on page 22. So that means within a week or so, it will be completely forgotten about. And she's saying that, look, the game for us ain't fair. And yeah, we as a community, yeah, we constantly cut each other up and we talk our shit. But when it comes down to protecting ourselves and protecting our own, we close ranks. And I was like, and this is so relevant because there are a lot of trans girls and trans men who are being brutalized and murdered every day in these streets, and we need to have new laws and new restrictions to actually make sure that our trans community can actually live decent lives, and they're no longer a victim of hate crimes and victims of brutalization. So I just thought that the way that they brought this out was so beautiful because it's happening right now in our communities. It's actually happening right now as we speak. And it's just so unfortunate. So then we get a scene where Damon, Poppy, Angel, and Blanca are in the store, and they're looking for Angel's print ad, and lo and behold, they find her face, in the cosmetics section, and they are so excited. It's a big achievement, and she's like, "This is my face, Like, you a star, Angel. You look so beautiful." And she's like, "My daughter on the thing." Like, it was like a victory for the entire house of Evangelista, and it was really beautiful. And then they ended with a quote from Dorian Corey, and the quote is, "Everybody wants to make an impression. Some mark upon the world. Then you think you've made it. Then you think you've made a mark on the world if you just got through it. And a few people remember your name. Then you've left a mark." And that was from Dorian Corey. So this episode was dedicated to the memory of Dorian Corey, a fierce queen, a fierce fashion designer, and one of the pioneers, of the ballroom. So this was a really beautiful episode, and I really was moved the entire thing. But Pose will not come back, and Pose will be back on in another 2 weeks. And this next episode involving Candy, it literally sounds like Venus Extravaganza. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen with that. But it comes back in 2 weeks. So that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to talk to you about it. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you can get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social platforms. I have them listed in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I'll be back with the next episode of Pose. So until next time, everybody, take care.